We're coming up on Memorial Day weekend. To many, that means barbecues and sales, but one local group is working to make sure people don't forget the true meaning of the day.
He was so uplifting and always so positive.
Lindsay Arsenault keeping the memory in Memorial Day, remembering her big brother, Specialist Brian Arsenault, who was killed in Afghanistan in 2014.
He's not another name, he's not another statistic, he's not another, face on a wall. He was a person. He was my brother that I grew up with for 28 years. He loved hockey, he loved sports, he loved his friends. And so there's just so much more to, when you go to these memorials and these walls and you see all these names, each one of those names has such a huge story behind it, and it means so much when you can just learn a little bit about them.
Lindsay was one of several Gold Star family members at Assabet Valley High School, part of a program by the Massachusetts Fallen Heroes organization to raise awareness about the meaning behind Memorial Day.
We want to bring the personality to it so you can see the families that are left behind. Every day is Memorial Day for them. Mass
Fallen Heroes is made up of combat veterans who are no stranger to challenges of war and losing the people closest to them. A moving short film gave students an inside look at that loss through the stories of several Gold Star survivors, families and friends whose loved ones were killed in the ongoing war on terror, all from Massachusetts.
And I said, "You want to be a Marine?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "All right, can you be the Marine that, guards the president, wears the dress blues and looks cool?" He said, "No, Dad, I'm going to be in infantry, And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because when I'm older, I'm going to say I served my country in a time of war."
Several of those families were at the event, hoping to keep the memory of the people they've lost from being lost on a day that was set aside to remember them.
One of the biggest things that I have noticed now that Memorial Day has a new meaning to me is that we've kind of lost the meaning along the way. I think it's become a little too commercialized. You see the Memorial Day sales, people say Happy Memorial Day. It's all kind of a little bit inappropriate.
The presentation, in no uncertain terms, telling the students why that should change.
Her brother that she's going to speak of could be one of you in this room. That's the sad reality of life. It is what it is. But you may know one of these people someday.
It's very direct. I think that just comes from who we are. As veterans, we're very just straightforward and blunt and in a politeful, tactful way. I'd rather connect with the students than say that was really boring, whatever. I'd rather them say, wow, that was different, that was good, that was powerful. That way they'll actually remember some of this, and that's the important part.
The message seeming to get through to students.
It was very emotional, but it was very eye-opening. I couldn't have asked for a better speaker. She was incredible. People do believe that it's about, cookouts and car sales and things like that, but it's not what it's about. It's about remembering those who sacrificed their lives for us, who gave their lives for us.
Assabet High is one of 11 schools in the state chosen to be part of the Mass Fallen Heroes' first ever Patriot Week.
One of the most moving parts of the presentation, I believe, was when she was talking about maybe some of the more positive times with her brother, because those aren't really the kind of details that people get into when they're talking about this kind of situation, because they're always like, oh, what happened to your brother? What do you think about that? But they don't ask about the good times, about how she felt when he was with her, when they spent time together, because she keeps saying how bubbly he was and what a great person he was, and those are the kinds of things that we want to hear about.
My brother was one of the most fun-loving, outgoing individuals I've ever met in my life, and I know that if he were here today, he definitely would be with his friends, hanging out with family on that day, but he for sure would be taking time out of his day to think about his brothers and sisters that he lost along the way.
This week is the second annual Mass Fallen Heroes Patriot Week. With the state's help, the organization restored a Vietnam memorial in Northborough and held a rededication last Sunday.